live on Facebook.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Nope. And we're recording and we're live on Zoom. Did you take that off mute on Zoom? Yes? Okay, good. All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing?
Good.
You had a busy weekend?
Very.
How many, Allison had a whole bunch of photography clients yesterday, right?
Yep.
How many did you have?
14, that's not including my friends and their families, so I guess.
So how many actual things did you?
17 family photo shoots.
So 17 appointments.
Yeah, I started my day at 8 in the morning, setting everything up, and I didn't leave the Christmas tree farm, so I rented out a farm.
Yep.
Full of Christmas trees.
Where is it?
It's in Stowe. It's
Stowe,
right
Mass.
next to Honey Pot Farms, yeah.
Nice.
So if you're looking to cut down your Christmas tree this year,
You can go cut down your own?
You can go cut down your own Christmas tree there. They're beautiful. I think he rotates them every year because there's some patches that are they're like baby trees, but.
Do you cut it down or do you go that one and they cut it down?
I'm not sure. I've never actually cut down my tree there. Some of them, last year I went a lot closer to November.
Okay.
And there was all these tags on the trees, so my assumption is people go in and they pick which one.
Got it.
Maybe they cut, I don't know. We had a family there last year who actually cut down a tree for their photo shoot and they paid like the $30.
Oh, okay.
Grabbed a saw, cut down the tree, and.
So they cut it? Or so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
I just wonder, I'm pretty sure I would screw that up, so
but it was
that's what I was wondering.
it was like a baby tree.
Oh, like a little
their-
Charlie Brown Christmas tree?
For their photo shoot, so
Got
I
it,
don't
got
know if
it.
he just did it because it was like nice, but.
Cool.
But yeah, check it out, Mistletoe Tree Farm.
So what is it? Say it again.
Mistletoe Tree Farm.
Tree Farm in Stowe. All right, so a little shout out there.
Yeah.
Since you enjoyed it, you had a good time yesterday, everybody
Yeah,
enjoyed
it's my
themselves?
third or fourth year renting out the farm, and.
But you do it for photography.
Yeah. We
Very
left.
cool.
We left the farm at like 6:30, like right as the sun was going down.
Yep.
Sun comes up, I was there. Sun was down, I left.
Sounds like work.
Yeah, weird.
All right, guys. Well, happy Monday. A little dark and overcast right now here in Natick, Mass, but I think it's going to be a nice day if I remember correctly. So, as always, normal advice, get outside, guys. Find some time, go for a walk, right? Get a little bit of outside time. Being cooped up, we are not, as creatures, good at being cooped up. So, we're going to be talking this week about grit. So, we're not talking about sandpaper. We are talking about mental toughness, sort of that characteristic, that human trait of being gritty. I will say this, the more comfortable you grew up, the less grit you probably have. So just a warning, the more, and that is also true, like if you grew up in a tough situation and then, congratulations, moved into a comfortable situation, you can lose this. So that's important there's some daily practices we're gonna be talking about to improve it, right? I grew up when I was very young, like a kind of a lower middle class, comfortable suburbanite kid. Pretty comfortable, not a lot of grit. I was pretty wimpy when I was young. So I've had to do some of these exercises and go and search out challenges in order to build that grit. Doing okay now. Certainly, there's some things where I'm like, one of the things I'm going to mention out here, like I'm bad at. So anyway. When you're doing this, one of the first steps is to try and build comfort with being uncomfortable. So now start thinking about the things in your life that make you uncomfortable. My friend Rory likes to call it swallowing or eating the frog because ew. So I recognize some people it's a delicacy, etc., that's fine. But for a lot of us, that would be an uncomfortable act. So a good example, ripping off a Band-Aid, right? There's like two personality types on this one. Actually, I guess there's three. There's the high grit, which is like, I'll just rip that thing off, that's fine. There's the low grit, I will do it very slowly and it's uncomfortable. And then there's the no grit, will you do that for me please? Because I can't do it myself, okay? That's the no grit, that's the zero grit. And I'm pretty good at that one on high grit. I'll tell you the one that I'm actually pretty bad at myself. The jumping in the pool. I tend to be like, oh, that's cold, this is gonna suck, So eventually when I build myself up, if you ever find yourself, fancy word, 5-10 cent word, perseverating, it's a very fancy word for saying overthinking it. If you're ever overthinking it, like you're overthinking the suck factor, just do it, just jump in, just go, it won't be that bad. So, couple of things that I recommend. One of these is a daily practice. These other ones are two things. For me, one's a daily practice, but for most people they won't be. The other one is you're probably gonna have to seek out a little bit for most people, depending on how you live. So number one is a cold shower. Now, this can be, there's a whole bunch of like potential health benefits for cold showers. But I gotta tell you, to me, the biggest one on this one is just straight up like the mental toughness. There is a temperature where literally your breath gets taken away. You ever gotten in the shower that's so cold and your chest freezes for a moment, your diaphragm freezes? So what I do, my shower is my morning wake up. So I went through a period where I wanted to develop this toughness. I did take just straight up cold showers. And they weren't frozen in an ice bath. It was a shower turned down cold. Like down past what would you consider like room temperature or lukewarm. Cold enough that it was cold on the skin. So what I do now is, because I use it as a wake-up call, is I take my normal shower, wash my face, clear off, clean off, etc. And the last 90 seconds or so, I progressively make it colder and colder and colder and colder until I get right to that like moment. And even when you're good at it, there's still that freeze moment where you have to kind of push through it. I've got others, but I would imagine when you were younger, so there's probably a lot of this in hockey, because you played hockey a lot. Yeah. Probably some discomfort at the beginning, right? Because I think of hockey and I think of uncomfortable skates, but I also know it's because I've only ever worn rental skates.
No, they're not uncomfortable.
Well, for you.
So my thing would be, with that example, when we had to do like 5:30 in the morning practices, the rink is really cold at 5:30 in the morning, and like if I was to wear
New England's really cold at 5:30 in the morning.
Well, if I was to wear sweatpants and a sweatshirt under my gear, I A, couldn't move, and B, like I would get hot in like 2 seconds. So that first couple of like it's cold, I've got to wear like I'd wear like spandex and like a t-shirt underneath, but it was like it was cold. Or even like when I played in high school, what happened is sometimes I would leave my bag in the car.
I was just gonna say this is Jitsu
because just because it's easier to get it out at 5 o'clock in the morning and just leave it in the car, especially if you had a game the night before, and so your equipment's wet. And sometimes it would freeze. And so at 5:30 in the morning with that practice, or like even if I left it in the trunk of the car for the whole school day, because it would be like 2:40, we'd have to go right from
It's
school.
a winter sport, right? So
so it might freeze in the time it's in your trunk from the time you put it in there by the time you leave for school, and then after school it's frozen, at least your skates.
Right.
Skates are frozen, so some of us had hair dryers that would like warm up our skates, or like you'd stick it up in the hand warmers just to warm it up. But like some days if you're rushing, like your skates are frozen when you put them in like frozen feet. Yesterday at the tree farm, in New England now, morning, the grass is always soaked.
Yeah.
So stomping around.
Dewy mornings.
Stomping around the tree farm, my shoes had probably 2 inches of water. They didn't even dry at lunchtime. Like my feet were wet all day. And in the morning yesterday, it was like 45 degrees. Like it was pretty
cold,
chilly. At like an hour into stomping around with I couldn't even feel my toes. They were so cold. I was
so mental note
next time. Yeah.
Boots.
I mean, I don't think I have boots. Oh,
of course you have boots. Wintertime, New England, you have boots somewhere.
Nah.
There's a Jitsu example there of leaving your gi in the car, and then your gi is like frozen. You go to put it on, and if you're a guy, your protection when that's cold, ooh, that's definitely jumping into the not even like the pool. That's jumping into the snow during the wintertime before you get in the hot tub. That's that's. So two more. One is a common practice for a lot of people, but it utterly terrifies humans, which is public speaking. Grit, as a general rule, is strongly associated with success in life. Like, if you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, you are more likely to be successful at whatever endeavor you prefer. Public speaking is really high on that list of things that make people successful. And then the last one, because this is very icky for a lot of people, If you have the opportunity to be a part of, or even just like in-person witness, I'm not talking about YouTube, it's not the same thing. Animal being processed. So we are very disconnected from our food sources, and that's problematic, I find. I've been hunting. I was not allowed to do the processing myself. I've never done it before. I've never been taught, but I was there as the guides were doing the processing, full everything, like, you know, start to finish. And I could feel a little bit of that squeamishness, and I was very happy that I got over that by the end of it. My curious scientific type brain kicked in, was like looking at wound channels and trying to check out anatomy and how things are tied together and where they went to process the animal. And if even talking about this is making you like squeamish, you know this is something you're uncomfortable with, and it's an opportunity to practice eating the frog. So, yeah.
Yep. Even the exercise we talked about last week with just saying no.
Yep.
That can also be a very powerful exercise to practice without giving a reason. No is a complete sentence, especially, you know, in self-defense, and we were talking about it. Anybody can ask you for something and you just say no, and you don't have to feel like you give them an explanation. So.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. All right, you guys ready to get your bodies physically moving? So if you're new here, Instagram's kind of a new thing for us live, so we're gonna get our bodies warmed up now to get our brains warmed up. So I talked a lot, so Allison's gonna kick it off.
All right, we'll start with jumping jacks.
And we're also a little late. It's already 7:14. So it's gonna be a quick one.
Jogging. Shake out those arms. Awesome. Plant those feet. We'll start with our head up and down here. Left and right. Big rolls. Crisscross those arms.
Chest day yesterday. Ow.
Circles. Backwards. Good. Turning up the spine here. Good. Big hip wheels. Other direction. Awesome. Big kick ups. We'll stay with our right leg for a couple here. In our left. Awesome. You can hang it down the center here. Separate those feet. Get your feet a little bit wider. Walk it over to the right side and the left side. We'll do big circles here. Arch that spine up at the top. When you hit the bottom, go the other direction. Good job. Last one here. You can walk those hands out and drop those hips. And then look up at the ceiling.
On Zoom, we're just seeing Phil's nose.
All right, you can either sit like a seiza position here, crisscross applesauce, standing, as long as you can keep your posture super upright and not slouch over. Our goal is to open up our airways here and work on our breathing. All we're doing is focusing on that 4 count here, where we're breathing in through our nose for a 4 count, holding that breath, pushing it straight down into our lungs for a 4 count, breathing out through our mouth for a 4 count, holding with no air in your lungs for a 4 count, and then repeating that process here. All you're doing is focusing on that specific type of breathing. It's called box breathing. And that is our goal for the next couple seconds here as we work our way. Mentally, just focus on your breathing. Nothing else helps with the relaxation process. Or if you feel like you're overwhelmed, doing this throughout the day, or if you feel stressed, even just 1 cycle can really help focus your brain and refocus on not going crazy. job. One more big deep breath. Good, and as always, big deep breath in, push all that air out.
Do we have a dad joke ready?
I do.
Oh, you do? I
Yeah.
wasn't sure after your busy Sunday, I wasn't sure you would.
No, I just found one.
Oh, all right, so it is Monday, guys. Big jiu-jitsu day for us here, big kickboxing day for us here. I just taught a 6 a.m. kickboxing. We got endurance, so we started off the week with legs. Good way to start it off. We have our kickboxing on demand throughout the day. Jiu-jitsu, we have 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock for our younger students. Those are non-contact classes, so you in a bag, following along with Sensei Alice and I, and we're going to help the kids a little bit of grit training this week. So a little mental toughness for them as well. It's going to be great for them. Adults will get in that same thing. So adult class, we have 6 o'clock and 7:15. Remember, guys, that is in your pod, so you got to make sure you have a partner coming down with you. Ready?
Yep. What did the grape do when it got stepped on? It let out a little whine.
I was like, it's squished. All right, team. It is Monday. Get rocking. Let's go.
See you guys soon.